What's up, YouTube? Today is Thursday. It is my second upper body day, second upper body day of the week. Week one. This is the second block after my meet, so the start of the second block of the bulk. So far, it's going pretty well. Excuse me. Whew. I hit 220 this week. I think Sunday or Monday. I officially weighed in at 220 in the morning. You know, after using the restroom and staying on the scale naked, all that stuff. So that's a pretty big milestone. At this point, I'm leaning towards going all the way to 230 rather than stopping at 225. I haven't made a final decision on that yet, but we'll see. Actually, today I weighed in at 222, but that is most likely because I was pigging out with my family yesterday. Had a lot of high sodium foods and, a lot of water, and I imagine that over the next couple days I'll probably end up being trending towards 220.5, 221. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. As of right now, based on how my body weight's moving, I'm thinking that in March, mid to late March, I'll be just about done bulking. Probably do about 4 to 6 weeks of maintenance, trying to maintain about 228 to 230, and then I'm thinking I'll probably cut a little bit more aggressively than I normally would, maybe 2 pounds a week for the first few weeks, and then decrease to 1 pound a week for another few weeks, and then depending on when my next meet ends up being, I will either continue 1 pound a week or maybe go down to like half a pound a week until I get to about 202, 203, and yeah, we'll go from there. Today's video, I didn't really have anything planned as a topic. I've been busy trying to meet with family, stuff like that, just normal excuses. Trying to live a normal life. I guess that's something interesting to talk about. I was in Tampa yesterday at a bodybuilding gym, and someone asked me if I competed in bodybuilding. I was in the posing room. I didn't take any videos, but I did take some pictures. I might put them somewhere in this video, which is funny. Obviously, I don't compete in bodybuilding, but it is something that has always interested me. When I first got into lifting weights, my whole goal was to get bigger. I was like 125 pounds in 8th grade, and I decided that I wanted to be bigger than someone else, some other jacked guy in 8th grade, a gymnast. So I started lifting weights, was super into bodybuilding, was pretty meticulous about tracking my calories and my protein, and I was really dialed in. And now of course I'm still very dialed in. Like I track my calories. I try to make sure I get enough sleep. I track all my macros. Let me see. Obviously my training is good. I try to train around the same time every day. I try to eat my meals around the same time every day, excluding holidays and special events. I eat pretty much the same stuff every day. But it is funny to see how different it is when you're like a serious bodybuilder versus a serious powerlifter. I think you can get away with more in powerlifting in terms of living like a more normal life. Obviously, like off-season bodybuilders, sometimes they get a little crazy with the calories and the eating. But typically, you see a serious bodybuilder year round, they're eating pretty much the same stuff. And they're pretty serious about that. It's harder to, get away with going out to eat, eating whatever mom makes or grandma makes for whatever meal, versus in powerlifting, usually people are not as worried about that. Like, yesterday I probably had a 2,000 calorie meal, in 30, that took me 30 minutes to eat, with my family, and it, didn't really bother me. Like, I wasn't really too worried about the impact it would have on my physique, or, my progress or anything like that. If anything, I was like, that I think boosted my training session yesterday. So, in terms of being able to do normal stuff and have a normal life, I think it's honestly easier to do powerlifting, than bodybuilding. I am very interested in bodybuilding, and I would love to compete one day, in some natural federation, or drug tested federation, natural. I would be competing as a natural athlete, if I were to ever compete. But not to say that a drug tested federation is a drug free federation, especially in bodybuilding. But right now, it's just not in the cards. Sorry, I keep on wiping my nose. I've just got something dripping. I just got a postnasal drip and some coming out of my face. But it's just something that it's very all life consuming. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be really serious if I guess you could step on stage looking silly, but I personally, that's not something I'd be interested in doing. If I were to ever compete in bodybuilding, I would want to be, I would want to look as good as possible, and that would take a lot. I mean, right now, to be like stage ready, I'd probably have to cut like over 50 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, I've just got so much body fat right now, and water, of course, but just to do that, it would literally take maybe a year of cutting weight just to be like stage ready, or maybe even more than a year. Ugh. But it is interesting to think about, and I think that a lot of powerlifters who take their training and their diet and all that as seriously as someone like myself, or like my buddy Adish, or another guy, Andrew Kane, like guys who, not that everyone watching this video will know who those people are, but most of you will. Like people like that who get to a point where they're kind of getting to a point where their frame is filled out, even if they're not like super shredded right now. People like that, I feel like, could eventually transition to bodybuilding. It's just it's a whole different animal, getting really shredded and trying to step up on stage as lean as you possibly can be, with as little water, as little water in you as you can, and just, it's just a completely different animal versus powerlifting. Like, yeah, you can track your calories and your macros and definitely be locked in, but it's a lot easier to wiggle some chocolate cake and whatever goofy snacks into those macros, because it doesn't have to be exactly this or exactly that. As long as you can perform, as long as you can still feel good in the gym and not be sick or whatever, probably going to be okay. Even if you do hold a little extra water or, whatever it is, it's just not as important. I don't know exactly how long I've been talking. I know I've been rambling. I may be slightly sick, and also I just had no plan for this video. It's just been very hectic. I guess the point that I was getting at is like, if you're someone who's you're considering going down the like bodybuilding versus powerlifting route, and you've got like a full-time job, or you're in school, or both, or you just want to have like a normal relationship with people and food, powerlifting might be a safer option. It can be difficult to maintain relationships with other people or with food as a bodybuilder, especially if you're actually competing, not just, some Instagram powerlift or Instagram bodybuilder. But you could, of course, always, switch. You could always eventually down the road pick up something else. And I think that powerlifting really does give you like a good base for bodybuilding. Like if you take your training seriously, build up a lot of muscle, like compete in powerlifting, go over to bodybuilding, you'll have a lot of muscle mass, and like you'll understand how to track, your weights and your reps and presumably your food and all that. Although actually I would say that bodybuilding probably is a better base for powerlifting than powerlifting is for bodybuilding. Too many people don't take the hypertrophy side of powerlifting training seriously enough. You see, there's a lot of like skinny or fat powerlifters who, just could benefit from being either leaner or just having more muscle mass. Like if you look at especially like local meets, or guys who are like trying to get to the national level but can't quite make it. If you look at the top powerlifters in the world, like world champions in like the 75/74, 83, 93, 105, most of those guys are pretty lean, and they're also really jacked. Like they've just got a ton of muscle on them. And I think that, that says something about what is good for powerlifting. Having a lot of muscle mass for your frame is ultimately the best way to maximize your strength. Like, anyway, I don't know how long I've been talking. I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna play some clips of my lifts from this week. I've got I did a top set of 6 on Monday on squat, top set of 5 with 425 on squat. That was pretty easy. Trying to set myself up for a nice little PR on week 4, but we'll see how I'm feeling. Deadlift triple. I haven't taken it yet. I'm taking it tomorrow, but I will, you'll be watching the video right now while I'm talking. I'm guessing I'll probably do a triple with like 465-ish, which should be pretty easy. I don't know what I'm building up to. I don't know what the end plan is for this week with my coach, but we'll see. Bench, I've got singles again this block, which is very interesting. Gonna probably do like 330 for my top single this week. Hopefully build up to something relatively heavy week 4, but again, don't know exactly what the plan is with my coach. But yeah, I guess you guys will let me know in the comments if my week 1 lifts were satisfactory or not. And I'll see you guys in the next one.